Tales, never here from Drake Wing Game, and a 7 mounts one of the Gaming Dragon today. I'm coming back at you into the Let's Play episode of Sileo, Tales of a New Dawn, Ty's Path. So y'all, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now up for as little as $5. Y'all can get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming not safe for work videos. Also, y'all, I believe it is the day after Happy New Year's, so I anticipated uploading videos a day ago, but I wasn't really feeling up to it, so I just took a day off. So, happy belated New Year's, y'all. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back into it. Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. I think I'm in the right spot? Yeah, I am. Okay. It was classic Diego to have prepared a gay joke so far in advance. I couldn't help but admire his commitment. God damn it. Diego's frustration having reached a fever pitch, I watched with cruel satisfaction as he angrily pulled his shirt over his head and retrieved the money from it, finally retaliating by sticking it in the dead center of my forehead. Keep your damn money. Seriously, I don't want to see it again. With a reluctant and defeated groan, I retrieved Diego's money, returning it to my wallet for safekeeping. Of course, I had no intention of holding on to it, but I knew full well that Diego was as stubborn as I was. Continuing to force the matter here and now would only be a waste of time and effort. Fine, you win. For now, you stubborn bastard. Damn right I do. Diego, no longer distracted by financial matters, had finally found the opportunity to fetch his own meal, retrieving his own muffin from the other bag and set before us. As he unwrapped it, I noticed his was a double as well. Gee, Diego, how come you ordered 2 sausage patties? Well, geez, let me think. Maybe because I'm a... What? What an incredibly interesting shift in tone. Only 2 nights prior had Diego revealed his sexuality, yet here he was, leaning right into it. With what we now knew, it painted an incredibly interesting portrait of times long past that we'd spent in each other's company. Back in those days, the two of us spared no opportunity for a dig at each other's sexuality. Something always taken in good humor, but fervently denied by either party. It was silly, immature, schoolyard-esque behavior that we surely should have been long past at our age. And yes, there was a whole 2 years since we parted ways. Although snide jabs, it turned out we were both completely right. A curious subversion and a hilarious irony in hindsight. I pondered. If things had been different, perhaps Diego and I could have wound up together instead. You make a terrific point, my fellow homosexual. You knew you'd approve. Depleted of insults, at least for the brief moment, the two of us greedily dug into our breakfasts, our appetite for sausage insatiable and unparalleled. There was always something about McMelvin's, something inexplicable. The food was simple, cheap, lazily prepared, and wildly unhealthy. And yet, somehow I always seemed to feel better after the fact. My mind recalled Diego's words several breakfasts past about his greasy breakfast being good for the soul. Maybe, just maybe, he was onto something? Oh man, shit's delicious, I'm telling you. You know, I think I needed that somehow. Thanks, Diego. It's nothing, dude. Recalling our discussion shortly prior, I realized there were things yet unsaid. Alas, our monetary dispute had somewhat derailed my conversational plans. Nonetheless, there was no better time than now. Seriously though, Diego, thank you for all the times you fed me, for giving me somewhere to stay on such short notice. Seriously, it's nothing. You don't have to. For being there for me when things got difficult the other night, even though you've got your own shit you're dealing with. I'm sorry about that, by the way. It's unfair to you that you have to shoulder my burden as well. So you know. Shut up for a minute. I looked up at Diego, giving him the silence he requested, and patiently waiting for his response. Worst thing about the few weeks before you got here was that I had too much time to just bleed, you know? Ty gave me some time off, and it's been a while since Lucas last needed me. And I get it, you need to take the time to deal with your shit, get it out of your system and all that. But I wound up in this loop of grief, going over and over the damn things in repetition. Each cycle hurting as much as the last. I tried to keep myself busy playing video games and stuff like that, but there wasn't a single damn thing that could get my mind off of it for anything more than a brief moment. I thought for sure you'd butt-dialed me, but nope, and you know what's weird? That's all I could think about, at least for a bit. I couldn't wait to see you again. I couldn't wait to see you too. It was scary but really exciting too. I can imagine, ever since having you around, spending time with you and working with you, helping with your problems, that's something I can focus on. Something that keeps me from just sitting here crying into a tub of ice cream or whatever. I guess everyone deals with these things differently. I feel like I've done all the grieving that can be done. One second now. There's not a whole lot left to process. It's like there's little left for me to gain. Damn, I'm trying to get that out of my nose. Okay. All I'd be doing is putting myself through the same pain again and again for little benefit. But it's hard, you know? You can't help but agonize over these things, but I know there's not much point. So instead, it's kind of like I made a call. I'm done hurting without good reason. I ain't gonna let that shit cast a shadow over my life, you know? I refuse to agonize over that shit. And having you here, it's helping with that a lot. I hadn't thought about Diego's situation in that light. I couldn't help but break into a smile knowing that I'd only avoided being a burden, but had been a beneficial add-on to Diego's routine and circumstances. He was still going to take my damn money, though. I'm really glad to hear that, Diego. You know, if you needed even more of a distraction, maybe it's time to get back into the dating game. What better way to distract you from a rough past with something than an exciting future with someone different? In a colossal failure to contain himself, Diego broke into a loud and boisterous laughter. I scratched my head, not understanding what Diego found so amusing. Thankfully, he went on to clue me in. Are you nuts? No way, dude. Don't get me wrong, if the right guy came along, maybe I'd make an exception. But it's like I said, I'm done hurting without reason. It doesn't mean I want to ignore the whole ordeal. It doesn't mean I just want to force myself to forget, you know? The kinds of wounds that will continue to bleed as long as I let them. At some point, you've just got to make a call. Not so soon that things are left unfinished, but not so late in that you've prolonged your suffering unnecessarily. I feel like this is the right time. But you know. It's been rough. Hell, it still is, but your timing couldn't have been better. You're the right thing at the right time, and I'm super lucky that I have you here. So thanks, Hunter. I kind of like fate or karma or something. It was looking out for me, you know? Figured I'd been through enough. It was high time things started turning back around. I had tried to thank Diego for all he'd done in days past, and yet somehow he wound up thanking me instead. While I was thrilled my presence had been such a positive thing for Diego, I couldn't help being frustrated that he wouldn't accept my own gratitude verbally or financially. You're a pain in the ass when it comes to accepting gratitude, you know that? I'm glad, though. The last thing I ever wanted was to be a burden. At the very least, knowing that being here is helpful to you, maybe I'll feel a little less guilty. I meant what I say, dude, so keep your thanks, and your damn money for that matter. I ain't taking it. Fine. Naturally, Diego could only refuse the money over my dead body. I simply had to get a little creative with how it would wind up in his possession. So, we both got working a little while, right? It came as an unwelcome reminder that set off butterflies deep within my gut. A reminder that I'd soon be required to confront Ty. I was nervous about seeing him once more and scared of what that encounter might entail. Maybe I should call in sick. Come on, dude, if you want the answers to those burning questions, you've got to be courageous. I know. Whew, that's me. You have a couple hours to burn beforehand, at least. Maybe you're in need of a good distraction, too, eh? Maybe you should head into town or something. Find some way to stay busy. And what are you gonna do? Me? Sit on my fat ass and watch TV, I guess. I didn't rightly know if Diego's suggestion would serve the intended purpose, but in the absence of better ideas, I decided to go along with it. Yeah, alright, maybe there's something happening that'll take my mind off things. Right on, dude, have fun! I bundled up the trash left over from my meal, placing it tidily alongside Diego's pile before rising to my feet and stretching my limbs in a dramatic fashion. I'm gonna get changed to roll out. I'll see you at work then. See you at work then, right? Yeah, dude, catch you there. I departed the living room, changing my clothes in the spare room and applying some cologne. It wasn't as nice as the brand Ty wore, but I hoped it might at least appeal to him in some way. I then pocketed my belongings and set off in the general direction of town, not yet knowing where my final destination would be. Ooh, side content. Yo boy. As unimaginative as I was, I struggled to come up with a viable way to pass my time. This lack of imagination led me to the mall, and upon noticing the arcade, I shrugged to myself. Why not? After all, it would be a good opportunity to get some practice on Dance Master Zero. I was determined that someday I would be able to move with Axel's jaw-dropping agility and unmatched grace. Give me a second, y'all. Water time. Oh, alright, y'all, and we are back. Let's jump right back into it, shall we? Okay. Entering the arcade, I was hardly surprised to run into Axel once more. It seemed almost like the arcade was his second home at this point. Hunter, hi! Hey, Axel, killing time? Yep, finished my deliveries for the morning, so I came here to pass the time. What about you? I've got an hour or so to burn before I start work. Figured I'd come here and distract myself. I see, then feel like playing some Dance Master? I thought you'd never ask. Great, I'll get everything set up. Axel dialed several songs in back to back before we both took our positions atop the platform. our feet ready and willing to commence. Axel turned to me, seeking my approval to begin. I nodded, and Axel began our first song. The initial track was a solid choice. Hardly a walk in the park, but also not too difficult considering my level of experience. I missed a few beats, but still managed to score 98%. Axel's score was predictably perfect. Great! You're getting better at this! Are you sure about that? Yep, you're doing amazing! Ready for the next track? As I'll ever be. We both cleared our sophomore song, this one having been notably more challenging than the last. Regardless, I managed to pass with a score of 91% and stay in the game. Axel had once again scored flawlessly. Looks like you got your feet a little tangled in the bridge. No kidding, I wish I could move like you do. You're in another league. Practice makes perfect. Keep it up and you'll become a master in no time. Heh, hope you're right. Gazing upward at the screen, the next track in the queue seemed strangely familiar to me. Ah, heck, this is the one I lost on last time, isn't it? Yep, it's our final challenge. You've had more practice now. I'm sure you can do it. I swallowed nervously. I only hoped that my heart wouldn't give out under such strain. The display on the machine read, "Congratulations, set clear." You did it! That was amazing, Hunter! I rested my entire weight on the metal bar at the reverse of the machines, panting heavily. Whew! That was tough. You did great! Next time maybe we can try an even harder song. Are you mad? Let's get some more practice before we try anything that crazy like that. You're getting better, though. If you keep practicing, you'll definitely be able to clear the hardest song one day. You think too highly of my potential, Axel. I reached into my pocket, checking the time on my phone. I was due to start work in 20 minutes or so. It was time for me to leave. Looks like I'm out of time. Thanks for hanging out with me, Axel. I had a good time. Likewise, I had fun. See you when I see you, Axel. Bye! God, Axel's so cute. Alright, hot stuff. I had arrived. Diego was already behind the counter, twiddling his thumbs methodically as he patiently waited for customers in need of service. As the entry bell rang, my arrival secured Diego's attention, which was warmly accompanied by a cheerful smile. Geez, dude, you're cutting it a little fine. Didn't want to come in that badly, huh? It wasn't deliberate. I guess I just lost track of time. Sure. Anyway, Ty's in the kitchen if you wanted to talk to him. Not sure about wanting to, if I'm honest. But you know. I get you. Gotta rip that band-aid off, though, you know? Get it over with. I guess you're right. Wish me luck, then. Knock 'em dead, bud. I centered myself with several deep breaths. I felt no less nervous than before, but knew there was naught to be gained from putting this off any longer. I passed through the swinging door, stepping into the kitchen. As anticipated, Ty was exactly where Diego had said he'd be. His back was turned to me as he diligently diced a variety of vegetables before loading them into a pot filled to the brim with some kind of broth. He hadn't noticed my arrival. I dug up some much-needed courage before calling out his name. Ty. Oh my! You startled me, Hunter. How long have you been standing there? Oh, I only just arrived. Ah, good. Well, I am pleased to see you. Are you well? As well as I can be, all things considered. Yes, I understand. Now, tell me, how are things looking out there? In the bar? Well, I think Diego's about to die from boredom. Ah, excellent. Well, not the dying part, obviously, but it does permit us the opportunity to discuss, well, I'm sure you know as well as I do. Yep, I do. Ah, but a kitchen is hardly an ideal setting for such conversation. Please, follow me to my office. Ty led me to a door on the opposite end of the kitchen. It struck me that I'd never seen his office before. I pondered what to expect as he pulled the wooden door ajar, leading me inside. Ty closed the door and slid the lock across before motioning for me to take a seat. I obliged, sitting in a chair opposite his desk and soaking in my surroundings. His office was meticulously tidy and very modern, not unlike his home. I noted a gentle rattle of an air vent in the ceiling above. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silvermoon. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Armor. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all. Let's hope this new year is a damn awesome one, all. Bye-bye.